Hey everybody, it's Killbite here. So this is my dishwasher install video. We got the dishwasher. This is on its side so you can see the bottom of it clearly. This happens to be a Whirlpool. And let me point out a few things while we got it like this. Here is your electrical box right here. One thing that you're going to need is something to fill this hole in, which happens to be it's a cable connector. They look something like that. They're pretty cheap, but the this little thing will come off. You slide it in here. When actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the wire through it, tighten it, then slide it through here, and that's when you put the nut on it. And that keeps this from cutting into the wire and causing electrical issues, which could result in fire and death and destruction, which we don't want. This is the drain hose. The drain hose on this is a little weird. It comes around to the side, up, and to here, and for the light, I don't know why it does, but those apparently it's supposed to stay there, which is, you know, whatever. I guess that's the way they want. That's the way it works. It works. The other thing, here's the inlet right here, and if you saw my removal video, you'll notice that it's very different. And I mentioned there's a kit, an install kit. Well, that install kit came with this and several ends, which included this end. This end happens to work right here, and then you connect the end here. Sorry, let me get that on the video, like so. And then this end will thread through and connect to the, come on, brighten up on me, right here to the hot water connection. All right, the hose outlet is, ends right here. There's another piece of hose that came with the dishwasher, which is here, and this, actually it's this end here, will go in to here, and then you thread it in and connect it to your plumbing under the sink. And those are the three things that you got to connect once you get it in there. With these, adjusting your legs, they have a way to measure the opening, and then it tells you how many turns to turn them. We'll see if that works. But it's pretty straightforward, so I'm going to get it, I guess. I'm going to run the wires. Okay, I'm going to run these two lines through the hole into the under sink area. Okay, as you can see, I've got the water inlet connected. It is not on, it's just connected. And there is the drain. Goes in with a clamp on it. That is the new one. That one came with the dishwasher. The water line did not. That was part of that kit. And they just go over here and through the hole. Okay, so when you're doing these, make sure you read through all of the instructions. One of the things the instructions said is to flush the line bringing water in. So what I'm going to do, I've got it connected. I'm going to turn the water on slowly, and we're going to flush it. And that's why you flush it. I'm feeling where the water is. I'm making sure that there's no leak. So I think it's good for leaks. And this water is hot. It's hooked up to the hot water. Alright, so there's, okay, water's off, and, okay, let's grab it. Where's the towel? Okay, I'll find it. There it is, right underneath my feet. And we're gonna dump that, and we're gonna do it again. And so you want to flush the water. All right, that is flush the water. This is the second one, and as you can see, it's clean now, so it doesn't have all that black gook that gets all over your dishes and sticks to everything. So now I'm gonna turn it off. We're good with flushing the inlet hose, and there were no leaks. So next, what we want to talk about is, and I don't know if this will help or hurt. I don't think it helps. Leveling. It has you measure the opening and then put, in this case it has wheels, and this is a 3/4 inch bolt. I'd highly suggest using a socket on this as opposed to a screwdriver, because I mean, if you want to use a screwdriver, go for it, but I think it'd be easier with a bolt. And in this case, it says there are 3 screws here. There's clearly more than 3, and there's holes, I should say. I believe this is the one for our size. This is a self-threading screw. So what you have to do is put it here, and it's got no threads in that hole. So you have to start it. And this is why I say to use a socket. And it is going in and threading at the same time. And so, in fact, I don't know if you can see that little piece right there. That's come out from the hole because it's threading, it's digging out some metal as it puts threads in it. So I'm going to do this on both back wheels. The legs, it said to have them, for us, 7.5 turns, and so all you got to do is turn it like this. I suggest, as you can see, it's really easy to turn. I'm going to take some tape and put a little piece of electric tape or some sort of tape right here to keep it from moving on me. So I'm going to finish these back wheels on both sides. Okay, here's a tip. I have taped a piece to the floor. The hose wouldn't lay, so I've taped it to the floor. I might end up having to straighten out the power as well, but just a quick tip there. Alright, so you got these little brackets. In this case, they go like so, one on each side, and then you use your pliers and take that, and it says to bend it down like so. There you go. Now see, wasn't that easy? Yeah, that's right. But I know something you do not know. I'm not left-handed. But it works anyway. Sweet. Alright, if you haven't watched The Princess Bride, you need to stop right now and go watch it. It's definitely in my top 5 all time. So we got the brackets on. Now we're going to slide it back in and see if the height is actually correct. Okay, so be sure to count the okays in this video. How many times do I say okay? Alright, count the alrights too. You can count them together if you want. It is in place. Had to adjust the front legs down in order to get it to fit, and actually, if you remember how it looked, it had that piece of insulation across the top and down the sides. It was really tight fit. I ended up setting this on the insulation, between the insulation and the wood here, get it in the video, and would slide it back and move the paper back forward a little, slide it in, move it out. Trying to avoid having to lower it in the back. Now, I did have to lower it a little on the front, so I'm guessing it's probably going to be a little bit tipped forward. Now, there's a couple ways that you can measure this. The way they say to do so. So what they say to do is to place it on the top, across, and then this way. Okay, I hope I'm making this clear. That way you got both directions. Now here's the thing. You can adjust the front legs fairly well. Alright? The back ones are those wheels, and with mine it's the wheels. So those are a pain. I got to pull it back out to move those, and you can only move them it's like 1/8 of an inch maybe at a time. So if those are close, you're going to want to adjust it at the front. But one of the things to look for is make sure that the door is going to close. In this case, the door is actually catching here on the right side. So what I need to do is I'm going to have to move the washing machine to the left in order for the door to close properly. Now I'm not going to, this is something that you just got to be mindful of. So now the door will close, and once the brackets are screwed in, that it'll stay in place. But before, make sure part of your leveling and everything is make sure that the door is going to close and everything is going to function. Then you can we'll tighten up the brackets, screws into the brackets. Okay, the dishwasher is in and fairly level. It's within the lines. It's really hard to get these perfectly level. Do what you can. The key is it's got to be pretty close to level so that it'll drain. Alright, so the next thing the instructions say to do is hook up the water line. And what you want to do before you put this on, now they say to put this on before you push the dishwasher back. I disagree. I say to put this on after I've already got the other end connected. And the reason why is because you're going to want to figure out where to, let me see if I can set this down. Kinda. You're going to want to figure out where you want this run so that you can have the elbow facing the right direction. And right here is where it'll screw in. I will probably run mine like so. The alternative to that is to have the extra hose underneath the kitchen cabinet, and then I could run it straight forward, which honestly is I'd rather not have it I'd rather have it on underneath my dishwasher, I think, than have it underneath my kitchen sink and the cabinet taking up space. That's my my opinion. So what I'm going to do is tighten this up and make sure this is facing up so they'll be able to screw into this. Alright, so I've got the water inlet here and it's tight, and the water is on. I have checked it, no water's coming out. This piece here is just like a garden hose piece, but this is plastic. Don't over tighten it. Be sure to pay attention to your instructions on how much to tighten this. This is the drain hose, and I'll give you a tip on this. Put a little Vaseline in there, and this will help the hose slide right in. Otherwise, before I put the Vaseline, it was just so tight that it wouldn't go. So a little Vaseline. This is your drain, not the intake. So the any Vaseline will go out. So you don't have to worry about it getting in your dishwasher. So then that's your water supply and drain. The power we will do next, and that's here. And remember, we got that little connector sleeve, which is right here. And what I'm going to do is put those together, squeeze those all together, and slide them in here. And I'll probably put it to about right here. I'm thinking just past where it's split. Then I will tighten this. Then we will tighten these screws. Then we will slide it through that hole right there and connect those wires. Alright, so we've got I went ahead and took care of the electric, and let's see if I can hold the camera, and alright, you'll see I ran the wire through the, sorry about that, this camera does not sit by itself, ran through the connector piece. It goes through the hole, you just tighten that up. I've got the ground is grounded here, good and tight, white to white, black to black. These are good and tight. I have pulled on the wires to make sure they're not going to come out. I'm going to also put just a little bit, just be paranoid, a little bit of electrical tape right around here. Shouldn't have to do it, honestly, but just be a little paranoid, and then I will put the cover back on over this, and then let's see, I think we will need to secure the top brackets after that. We'll see. Here's a quick tip for you. I'm getting ready to put the screws in. As you can see, already started one there, and then I'll be putting the one in there. What happens if I drop those? Well, in my case, it's going to land on the towel or this plastic here, and it'll be easy to pick up. It won't go down into the inner workings of the dishwasher. So throw yourself a towel there. And obviously the next step, the one I'm working on, is securing these brackets in with the screws. And you got to make sure the screw goes high enough so that the door will clear it. So you can be cognizant of that when you first go to close that door. Alright, dishwasher's in, plastic's off the front. The bottom piece is not on yet. The instructions said to put it on, but I want to check it for leaks. So we've turned it on, the shortest cycle that it has. You can hear that there's water coming in. So what we're going to do is check underneath there for leaks, and check underneath the dishwasher for leaks. Assuming that everything works and there are no leaks found, then I'll put the front piece on, and there's just two connectors, one on each side. I will tell you that putting this in was a lot more involved than taking the old one out. I would honestly plan for 3 hours. If I wasn't making a video, I probably could have did it in a couple hours, if that, and it may not. Yeah, a couple. I'd just say a couple hours. But it is much more involved to put it back together. Obviously, for some safety stuff, obviously the power was off, the water was turned off coming to it. All that was covered in the removal video. And this being the install video, I have obviously turned the breaker back on. Water is on, and did the initial checks for leaks. Now we're running it a little bit, and I'm going to check underneath for leaks. I'll check as soon as I turn this off. I will check it for leaks. We'll let it run a little longer. I'll check it, and basically I'm just going to keep checking it for leaks, through the whole cycle. And then even next time I run it, I'll check it for leaks, because I don't want, if it starts leaking under there, you may or may not notice it. if you do notice it, it's probably because water is pouring all over your kitchen floor, and that's not a good thing. So anyway, I think this is going to turn out to be a lot longer than I planned, but hopefully it will help you all out. And if so, be sure to like it, comment, subscribe. See if we can get it show up on some searches. And other than that, good luck with yours, and have fun.